think all of us have some GeminiJets videos that we just simply will never forget. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a really cool video of an unboxing of a GeminiJets Qatar A340 from the famous Gee33333. I hope all of you are excited for this really cool video, and let's just go ahead and get started, everybody. Alright everybody, so I think everybody at some point has probably seen a video like this or similar. There's just so many videos out there on YouTube, and some of them are longer than others. This one's extremely short, just 2 minutes, but this is from Gee33333, and this has nearly 2 million views. I know that many YouTubers like Aviation 18 and so forth have mentioned this video in the past, but this is a classic when you look up GeminiJets videos on YouTube. So this is from 14 years ago now as of filming this. So this was uploaded in January of 2011, and this is just a very quick 1 minute 59-second video of this Gemini Qatar A340-600 unboxing. Now I do want to make a couple of notes here before we begin the video because it's going to go very quick. So number one, as you can see, he does have the model, of course, but also the original GeminiJets airport mat, which is extremely cool. You can note that there are a couple aircraft in the foreground over there, some international wide bodies, British Airways and Virgin Atlantic. You can also note that he's adding grass to the replica, which I think is really cool. So you can see that first hub there on the left is actually filled in, and then he's actually using the grass as a topper there on a Lego box, it would appear. So there are some really cool pieces to this, and then it does go very quickly, so I might just let it play through, but I'll be sure to make notes. Now he does reveal his airport at the end too, so excited to see that. But anyway, Gee33333, very excited to see this legendary video. Let me make sure that we had the highest quality. We did have 720p in 2011. So anyway, with that all being said, let's go ahead and get started, everyone.
Hi YouTube, Gee33333 here.
I gotta play that one more time.
Hi YouTube, Gee33333 here.
So I guess it's technically pronounced Gee33333. So let's do that again.
Hi YouTube, Gee33333.
So very nice.
With the unboxing of the Qatar A340-600 by GeminiJets.
Now some of you may recognize that clip very clearly. That is the intro for Aviation 18's The Downfall of GeminiJets video. That is a very clear 8-second portion of it. So I did want to note that if that does seem familiar, that's why.
This plane
it's a legendary.
Made in 2006. I think they only had a very minor part.
Yeah, 2006. This aircraft's extremely rare at this point. I think Phoenix has done it a couple times and all that, but yeah, cool box.
GeminiJets information about it.
So anyway,
so this,
take a look.
The A340 by Qatar, it only flies to London and Paris.
Did not know that. Very cool.
I don't know why. Probably because it's so many people, but they don't want to put a 777 on there. So I really like this model because of the ibex, or the antelope on the back.
Looks really cool.
And that's kind of their model. It's even on the winglets and on the engines.
Very good looking plane.
And the ibex.
It looks like a Phoenix hybrid mold. Also really cool Qatar logo in there.
I'm going to go ahead and get to my good, bad, and ugly model part. And the good part is that it's a Qatar model. GeminiJets.
That's cool. The cool, the bad, and ugly part.
They probably all did them in 2006.
Nice.
I don't know, but they're not making them anymore. And the bad is there's minor paint problems. You kind of not really see it.
Deficiencies have been on models for forever and always.
The model. And then there's really no ugly. I really like this model. So I'm going to go and put it up.
So this is where we're going to get the airport reveal. So I'm just going to go ahead and let me see if I can get a stable part. That is a good part. Let me see if I can get a good frame. Here we go. This is what I want. All right. So as you can tell, here's his diorama. Now again, this is half of the mat. So as you can see what he's done here, and this is common. I think AA Flyer 777 did this a couple times too, is what people would do is they would display the runway over here on one side along with the gate aprons for the entire original facility. And when GeminiJets released I think it was in 2000, man, it might have been like 2010 when they released it. I thought it was a little later than that, like 2012, but it was probably 2010 when they released, the original 7-gate facility, which I do want to get my hands back on that at some point. I did have one, and there's plenty of media of it on my Instagram way back if you scroll. But I do want to get my hands back on one of those just to say that, more than just to say it. I want to use it at Great Plains first off, but it would be really sweet to have all the concourse now that I got the rotunda, which is a very pricey investment normally, but fortunately I lucked out. That's irrelevant to what we're discussing though here. So what people would do is they would get the extension mat, which also came out, I believe, before the original concourse did. Around the same time. I believe before the 7-gate facility came out. Excuse me, that's what I was trying to say. and they would tape it over exactly like he's done. Many people would tape these because they've moved so much, or there's quite a few ways to do it. But anyway, in this case, it's duct taped, and you can see the extension mat duct taped, and that left the whole area open so you could do what you want. So as you can see, he uses 7 gates over there for that facility, and then he also has a hangar over there. There's a Q400 in the far background over there, and it's a C-17 with some sort of presumably military setup over there. So very cool. You can see that there is a pretty good fill-up of models there. I think it looks pretty miscellaneous. I can't tell if that's like an Allegiant MD-80 at that 3rd gate on the original stand or not. It looks like maybe United 76 down here at the gate. The quality's not the best. It's not his fault, obviously. It's just I can't really tell. But if we get a better look, we do have an A380 over there too. So anyway, let's go ahead and see where he places this here.
Because I've had this model for a little while now.
Qantas, it's a Qantas A380, it looks like.
My other A340-600.
So yeah, he's got the Virgin Atlantic, so very cool. Now I do want to point that back out. That's a really good frame. I want to point out those stands real quick. So you can see that those stands, if I can get the focus there for, it's not the prettiest obviously, but you can see those stands right there have the 4 fuel in-ground pieces there, which is really cool. You also have the various markings there up and then the yellow. So yeah, these stands were really cool. They did a good job on those. So there it is, docking it up there.
So
very
it's
nice.
A nice model. I would recommend it.
The white line's also cool on the yellow line.
And
okay, that's a Delta 76, and we got the Qantas there. Very nice.
Alrighty. If you see any model that you'd like me to review.
That's a good frame right there. You can see there's a blue tulip 777 in the back. Yeah, there's definitely some U.S. aircraft in this. At least it seems like this. That appears, this could be an AirTran 717. I can't tell. It almost looks like a Canyon Blue Southwest and maybe like a U.S. Airways over here. Let's see if he gives us any different frames here that we can work with. This really looks to be an Allegiant. I could be way off there, but that looks like an Allegiant. This looks like a U.S. Airways, so I'm not exactly sure what we're doing here. Let's see. That almost is 100% a Southwest Canyon Blue. So I think this is a U.S. replica with some international wide bodies, what it seemed like. So yeah, really cool and definitely a great variety of pieces throughout that video. So that's a really good one. Now, I don't think that he uploaded many, if any, other videos. We have, sorry about that cuss word there. Wasn't expecting to see that. Let me just go ahead and see if I can go ahead and zoom this in here. There we go. That will help. We do have a United 777 unboxing there, along with the US Airways 734. And he does do a video on the new facility as well. And you know what? Yeah, this video hasn't been too long today. Let's just go ahead and watch this too.
Hi guys, Gee33333 here with the new.
Now again, this is the original facility, just a couple of major parts that stand out. And yeah, there's US planes here, so that was correct from the previous video. And we are in 720. So you get the ramp back here, which was a really cool piece. It's the only ramp that Gemini's ever done on a facility. It might be the only one they ever do. We'll see. And then, yeah, so this was a 7-gate facility. You had 6 narrow body gates along with 1 wide body gate. And that was certainly fascinating how people used it. There's a bunch of different videos out there of how it was used.
Here's the new one.
So yeah, it must have been very new. This is in 2011, summertime. So summer 2010 maybe? This was uploaded, yeah, I'm assuming he said summertime, so that probably means that it was summer of 2010, so 15 years ago on the dot when they released this.
So, I got this for $130.
Wow, oh man. All right, let's put that into perspective for a moment. So this is $130, which I think is a grand slam. I don't remember getting it for that low. I thought it was closer to $200. But anyway, you have, at that time it would have been lower, but now what would be $30 worth of gates here, at least maybe $45 worth of gates. So yeah, with the lights and all that, that's a great price.
Off airparagon.com. That's nice. Here it is.
I don't think this guy's international either, so I think it's USD.
When compared to the other one's just plain white, as you can see.
So yeah, you got the new color, of course. That's a big part of it.
Airport accessory set, which you can kind of see set up.
Yeah, so he's got one of these accessory sets, and you can also see that he took out the wheels for some of these regionals. Yeah, so he had quite a few Continentals in here as well. You can see the fuel truck.
Alaska and
got an Alaska and American as well. It's a really iconic setup. It's a really, really cool gate setup and how people set it up. I do really want to get this facility back.
Here's the Eternal. I don't have the Mac.
In fact, this does inspire me actually to react to another video that had the exact setup.
In one. So that's really
very cool.
Really cool.
There's a better look at those hangars over there. Yeah, these were made about the same time. So yeah, here's the back. Yeah, those ticket counters. That was a fantastic idea by GeminiJets for quite a few reasons. Number one, it actually kept the actual roadway in place, which I thought was so cool. And then number two, they actually look sharp. So that was a great idea at that time.
or where you park your
But the main complaint about the original one, which, you know, there's so many different perspectives on it. Number one, that it was too big, which is understandable if you just want an entry-level set. Obviously, a setup like this is more reasonable. And number two, on top of that, it also, you know, was looking for a more affordable option, right? Like the other one, by the time you get the mat and all that, at that time, I think it was like a $750 purchase. But this, you know, you can get a full mat and setup for like $250, which I think is a really good deal. In fact, this was my first setup, so I mean, you know, it works out good.
There's my United plane.
And there was so much creativity that you could work with.
There's the battery pack. I don't have any batteries.
But yeah, you can light it up, of course.
So that's neat. And here's the roadway. It says arrivals.
It does say arrivals on it
right
too.
here
That's so
says
cool.
departures.
Yeah, departures. Yeah, that's so cool.
And over here also says.
But yeah, you can just get so creative with it. And I'll pull up that mat. I want to look at that mat a little bit more in detail here in a moment.
I think it might say it down below somewhere.
Because that mat is really cool with the roadway and all that. Because we're already talking about all of it, so we might as well take a look at it. So
it's kind of interesting.
Nice look here at the Etchel facility itself
I don't know why.
in full detail.
But I only put one sticker on so far, just because I'm lazy.
that's all right.
So anyway, here's the rest of my airport.
So yeah, he has got like Qantas Q400, C-17, Delta 738. So that's very nice right there. Very cool.
There's the new terminal. You can get it for $130.
It's epic.
Maybe a bit more. I don't know how much the mat costs. Let's get that on that.
Yeah, the mat's like $100. So.
Okay.
Very good video by Gee333. Now I'm going to see if I can find here a GeminiJets airport mat. I want to see if anybody's made a video on that original mat. Let's see here. I want like the full mat here. There we go. Thank you, Miss Luke's Aircraft Reviews. So yeah, and keep in mind that it is a 1-400 and a 1-200. And shout out to Luke's aircraft models. I don't want to skip through it, but for what the purpose of this video is today, we will. So yeah, you do have a 1-200 and a 1-400 portion of it, which I think was very clever that they did a duo of it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I want to see if I can zoom it out just a little bit. That's a pretty good view. Okay, so this mat, as you can tell, is even more detailed. The stand positions are essentially the same. There wasn't any major change from that. And they obviously enhanced the ground markings here with some additional signage and so forth where he's going. But yeah, I'll have to pull it up at some point. But this area particularly was just so heavily used for such a variety of purposes. I've seen people do charters over here. I've seen people do cargo over here, military. I saw people, and including myself, extend the concourse all the way to here. And then the parking lot's really cool. I've seen people do parking garages right there and then the roadway and so forth. Here's some good detail. It's obviously got all the markings. This side was really cool with the bridge here, and then obviously you can extend it to that extender mat. They made this mat a universal with the other one, so you can put the extension on the back, which I think was really helpful with the road, so that looked really cool. So yeah, it was so great how universal they kept it. Obviously you got runway 27. You do have a little bit of the beach there, so it did keep some inspiration from the previous mat, which I love that beach. I mean, it was really cool. So yeah, I definitely want to get here's a really good look. I definitely want to get this set up again at some point and really make, even if it's just a little fictional setup, just for fun. I mean, it's just so cool. And, you know, I think it would just be great to kind of rotate some of my favorite GeminiJets aircraft through it. And, you know, the other brands can certainly get in on it. But, you know, Gemini has been such a force in this hobby. And I made the video talking about that earlier this year. But it's a very important piece of the puzzle. And it's so cool. It was the two pieces, so you did have to tape it down the middle there. But it wasn't too bad. And then, yeah, here's just a couple cool aircraft on there. You got KLM 747, Air New Zealand 787, Etihad Air 380 for some good detail. The water's real cool. You got some rocks. So it's certainly a very neat design and certainly really cool to see all that. So thank you everybody for the videos here. Greatly appreciate it. And I hope all of you are excited for what's to come. No shortage of opportunities, and this was definitely really cool to take a look at here today. So with that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Just process deeply love and love you do. My name's CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.